Welcome back to The Charismatic Voice and to My Choice Tuesday. We're finally going to listen to Tool. I know. How did it take me so long to get to Tool? I feel like maybe I've just been intimidated, right? Their music is so incredibly complex. Also, I'm more familiar with them. My husband loves Tool. He made me go to a Tool concert about a year ago, which blew my mind. It was so amazing. I was so impressed, both with vocals and the drums. Wow, just wow. However, I'm not incredibly familiar with their music. And especially, strangely, I'm not as familiar with their older stuff. I've heard more of their newer album. So today, we're going to be taking a look at Sober. Sober, this performance is from 1993. It's from early on in Tool's career. This was released with their second album. And in fact, the song actually has roots in 1987 from the band that Maynard was with before Tool. So it's kind of fascinating. Tool has been around for such a long time. So I'm really excited to actually get to start the Tool adventure by going back to one of their earlier songs that everyone else seems to know really well except for me. So let's get to it. This is really interesting. I'm looking at all of these band members. I know some of them from pictures today. They look so much younger here. This is crazy. It just really impresses me how long they have been around. In addition, the music so far, to me, it just sounds particularly tortured. The distortion sounds like it's really pained. There was some interesting tuning in there as well that feels like it slides a little bit, which makes it feel more painful. This ba-dum, ba-dum, that's hanging out there in the bottom, like it's a pedal tone. Well, it's not exactly a pedal tone because it'd be sustained for longer, but it is playing the same bass note over and over and over. And that makes you feel more anticipation. It makes you feel more dread almost coming, but it's not necessarily dread. It just feels like something is coming and I'm not sure what. So let's keep going. It's almost like Mission Impossible. Shouting every step I take, making every promise empty. Pointing every finger at me, waiting like a stalking butler, who upon the finger rests, murdered now the battle's mercy, just because the sun is gone. Okay, this is so fascinating. Maynard's posture is like not what you would expect for good singing. The way he's hunched over with the microphone, the way he's holding it, it looks like he's aiming to get into a character more. And I did pull up the lyrics of this. I want to go through all of the lyrics and analyze them as we're going along because I think that Tool's lyrics tend to just have tons and tons of depth in them. And keep in mind, Sober is, I think Adam Jones said in an interview at one point that Sober was about a friend of the band who was relying essentially on substance for artistic expression. So I'm going to think about that and take a look at the lyrics. Here, let's go to them really quickly. I do wish that I'd be able to hear the lyrics better, but I think it's mostly that it's just a live performance and the mixing that makes it a little difficult to understand them. So I'll read them out every time. There's a shadow just behind me, shrouding every breath I take, making every promise empty, pointing every finger at me, waiting like a stalking butler, who upon the finger rests, murder now the path called must we, just before the sun has come. I'm not sure if he got to that point, but yeah, because I think he's just about to say the next part. So it looks like to me that so far he's talking about a shadow, something stalking. It sounds like there's a butler stalking. There's a shadow behind him. There's fingers that are pointing at them. I think that this might be about from the point of view of the person who is addicted to substance to make some sort of creative work. So you think it feels like they're relying upon it, and that it's just every promise empty. I think about the fact that they need to write something, and it might feel like they can't write something good unless they have that substance. And I've seen this in, I'm not going to name the exact places, but I've seen this happen. And I've seen lots of people who rely on substances in order to find that creativity or to dispel nerves. And it feels like they're putting something out there for the public, but it feels empty because they don't know, like, was it really them? It was them with the substance. They never feel like they can put something out that is truly just them. And they feel like it feels like almost like a lie that they're putting out all the time. So I think it's interesting, shrouding every breath I take. I could see that it feels like this person maybe has to continue to walk this lie and has these fingers pointing at them. There's also, you could take it from the point of view of a band, that they're frustrated because they feel like everything that's being put out, or maybe that they see that this person is essentially being stalked by a shadow the whole time. There's a lot of different ways you can always interpret Tool's lyrics, and that's what makes it so cool. Let's go back just a little bit so I catch where Maynard is exactly. And I will continue to read these lyrics because I think it's so important to the song. Oop. Just because the sun is come. Mother Mary, won't you whisper something about the passing time? Mother Mary, won't you whisper something about the passing time? Why we not be sober? Just want to stop this over. This is fascinating. His posture, again, he really looks like he's inhibiting the character. I'm surprised that he's able to belt like that while he was in this posture. The way his back is bent over, that makes it so that the line of air is not able to really easily come through your voice. It's definitely not good belting posture usually, but he's so committed to his character. You can see in his eyes and his focus how much he's committed to bringing the message forward, that he's not as worried about that. Also, even the way that he'd collapse his knees inward, that makes it so he can't really put his roots down into the ground for as much support. I feel that Maynard is coming to this in a very extremely truthful way. It's interesting because I did look at the lyrics, of course, before, and I'm looking at them over here. They say, sorry, we're going to have cussing on the channel today. It's going to happen. So instead of saying, Jesus, won't you fucking whistle? It says, he's saying, Mother Mary, won't you fucking whistle for this part? And later it does say Mother Mary, but I was curious, like, I wonder if in later versions he says Jesus instead. So just before the sun has come, Mother Mary, won't you fucking whistle something but the past and done? Mother Mary, won't you fucking whistle something but the past and done? Why can we not be sober? I just want to start this over. Why can't we drink forever? I just want to start this over. Wow. I think it's the whistle part is so interesting. There's sort of like two main ways that my brain goes on this. If we talk about a religious figure whistling, that could be to get the attention of a person and maybe help them out, like help pull them out of something that's really tough or help them get out of danger. I feel like that was probably what they were going for, but it also hit me in a slightly different way. I know that when I am doing some sort of composition, a lot of times I whistle and I'll be like playing with different tunes. And it says something but the past and done right after whistle. So when you're searching for a new tune or searching for some element of creativity, I think it's not uncommon to whistle. So it might be just frustrating, and it might be saying like, can't we just like find something that hasn't already been done? That's not just something from the past. Like, can't I find my creative spark somewhere? Why can't we not be sober? Hello, double negative. Thank you so much. That gives that extra depth. I just want to start this over. What if the person that really wanted to be sober, what if they like had this desire to start their career over without the drugs? Because then maybe it would feel more honest and maybe more transparent. Why can't we drink forever? Maybe it's like either you go back to the beginning, have a clean slate, start from the beginning, and people don't have those expectations that you are creating at this level that you have to have the drugs or feel like you have to have the drugs to create at. Or, can't the person just always be taking the drugs? I can imagine that battle is extremely tough because of all of that public pressure. Let's go back a little bit in the song now and keep on going. To stop this
just an imbecile. I will only complicate you. Trust and pain for this world. I will find a center in you. I will shoot it up and flame. I will work to elevate you. Just enough to break it down. Mother Mary, won't you whisper something about the past and done? Mother Mary, won't you whisper something about the past and done? Why can't we not be sober? I just want to start this over. Why can't we sleep forever? I just want to start this over.
This is so fascinating from the vocal performance perspective alone. Yes, the band, one of the reasons I think they're an amazing band is because each person is so incredible at their instrument and they feature different instruments and they prominently. It's not just about the vocals, it's about the entire band and each member of the band being incredible at what they do. But wow, this is awesome to see Maynard in this and get to see him. Usually, I think in the concert that we saw, Maynard wasn't up front very much. It's really fascinating to see him up front in this and see the way that he's embodying a drug addict. And even in his vocal delivery, he isn't singing really long lines. He's putting spaces between each. If you're addicted to drugs, you're not going to be singing as long of vocal lines. Even in conversations, it tends to be a little bit more jagged. And it's amazing to hear the way he's using his breath between two. It's almost hyperventilating sometimes. And I like seeing how much in his body he is living this. It's even the way he drops off of vocal phrases at the end. You can hear it like almost like a surge of or a lack of energy to keep going on, but an attack of energy at the beginning that shows that need. It's fascinating. His performance has got tons and tons of depth. I was really surprised by some of the belted notes too. Again, his position doesn't help him do that, but he's doing it very well. Whew. Okay, let's talk just briefly about those words. Wow, there's so much to talk about in this. Let's see. I am just a worthless liar. I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you. Trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you. I will chew it up and leave. I will work to elevate you just enough to bring you down. And then it goes into the Mother Mary section again, where once you whisper. This is, to me, when it's saying, I am just a worthless liar, I'm just an imbecile, I will only complicate you, trust in me, and fall as well. I feel like it's shifted perspective. I might be wrong, right? These lyrics are open to interpretation, but I feel like it's shifted perspective and it's talking from the drugs perspective at this point. I will find a center in you. I will chew it up and leave. That's the way that I imagine that it would feel like that whatever the substance is, like the way that you start to depend on it and it just takes away that creativeness that you were able to depend on early on before and then takes that away from you. So you have to depend on it after that. I will work to elevate you so that maybe the drugs and that creative inspiration continually elevated the person just enough to bring them down so that they can't function anymore without it and ultimately rips their life apart. I think those are amazingly powerful words. Okay, back to the song. Here we go. Yeah, the way he was pulling at his shirt was fascinating too.
I am just a worthless liar. I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you. Trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you. I will chew it up and leave. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. I can't wait not be sober. I just want to start this over. I can't wait sleep forever. I just want to start this over.
The way he's like coming down off of it, he's sliding down off of it each time. I love this. Feels almost like it's even more spoken than sung sometimes, or yelled, screamed instead of just spoken, or instead of just sung. I love the gravel that he's bringing into his voice at this point. It sounds so pained. I'm so just impressed with his expression. I want to go back and hear that one more time. Carey's tearing it up. I really wish that this song was longer. I have to say, I think I'm used to the more modern Tool songs being a little bit longer. I think it's fascinating though. He's going, I want. It's if I'm looking at these lyrics again, I want what I want. I want what I want. Just it's so clear this addiction that's driving, but also is necessary for a public facing career and understanding how that might tear a person up. Let's go back just a little bit. I want to hear it one more time. So at the end, when he's going up and playing with the different pitches here, it's amazing how Maynard is able to, he has a pitch in mind, but he'll bring in the expression of his voice and let it kind of go around that pitch a little bit. So we know exactly where he is, but he's pulling so much expression in that sometimes it will shift on the pitch a little bit. I love the style that he's developed as a singer. there's so much that we could dig into with Tool. Today, I really chose to go more in depth in the lyrics, and I'd wanted to see what that performance, I was excited to see a little more video up close of Maynard as well. But I'm really excited to look at them more in the future. The overall impression of this song was mostly just, wow, he is so committed to bringing us truth in his performance. I have so much respect for that. I know this might sound crazy, but he reminds me a little bit of Lara Fabian, and they're so different in styles, but of the way that she is absolutely committed to her message and not afraid to make an ugly sound to communicate something that might feel ugly or hurtful or damaging. And I felt that in this song for sure. I really loved the way that he played around with his voice at different times. Like at one point he went down lower and then held out a note for a little bit longer as well. And it sounded like almost like a dwindling high or something like this. And of course, just his posture and the way he assumed the character that he was in was incredible. It makes you feel like you wonder if he's experienced this or if it was just somebody that was really close. But definitely it feels raw and emotional while being musically extremely good. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to Kirk too for recommending this. I'm so glad to finally have Tool in this channel's repertoire. It's going to be fun to continue to dive into them. So do recommend the songs that you would like the most below. If I have seen them before, I will do a more in-depth analysis, okay? And please come and join me at the live party this week on Friday, October 2nd at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's when we're going to be having our big celebration. We're going to have giveaways. We are going to be cheersing with mimosas. We're just going to have a lot of fun, have a couple big reveals too. So please come and join on YouTube for that live stream. And also, if you want to know more about singing, you can check out my course online. It's about vocal foundations. That's on my website. And if you just want to get to know me and the community in general more, check out the Patreon. We have a really great Discord. I do video chats there a couple of times a week. People also recommend lots of songs there, so you should definitely check that out. I'll hope to see all of you somewhere soon. Thanks.